All right, let's talk some weather as we get ready to head towards the weekend, Valentine's weekend, and some of us are going to be dealing with some rain. In fact, by the end of this weekend, everywhere in the state will have had some rain. It's just a matter of when, how much, and if there's any other side effects to it. The severe threat looks very low to me. The possibility is there. A couple things line up, and we'll talk about that. But this is a big rainmaker, and we don't get colder on the other side. In fact, spring-like temperatures are expected into next week. So I'd like to start with the upper air look here. This is tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon at about noon. You see that upper high in the southwest Gulf and the associated ridge over the southern plains. And as we look at the transition into Saturday, you're going to see a trough, quite notable. And that's always an indicator that we've got a weather system in play here. So there'll be a surface low beneath that, and that'll be tracking east throughout the day on Saturday. By Sunday afternoon, that trough axis will be right through parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, and we'll be getting a decent amount of rainfall here and perhaps a few thunderstorms. By Monday, that little shortwave is kind of weakened, moved off to the east, and hey, what do you know? We got another big ridge setting up here. Warmest temperatures, South Texas, will be in the 80s there. Could have some upper 70s, low 80s along the Louisiana coastline. But by and large, the pattern across the southern half of the United States looks very mild, very warm through much of next week. So let's break down this weekend rain potential here, all right? So we'll start here. This is GFS. I like to look at both. People ask why do we look at multiple models if we think one's more reliable than the other? Because it's not always as simple as, they're not answer keys. You got to take it all in for what it's worth. So this is Saturday afternoon. You can see state of Alabama looks dry. That has been the case with most of the later model runs. Stray showers possible, but the bulk of the rainfall looks like it will come late Saturday night. We'll call it Sunday morning. We'll pause this at 6 o'clock. You'll see a line of heavy rain, perhaps some thunderstorms in there moving through West Alabama by early morning, and the heaviest pushing out of southeast Alabama by about 1 o'clock. That would be, the Wiregrass area, probably a little later than that. And then we'll gradually see rain ending from west to east. Here's another look at that. This one from the European model. This is a look at 3-hour rain total, so not the exact same product as what you just saw here, but same general idea. Saturday afternoon, dry. So Valentine's plans outside, early, dry. This has been showing signs that maybe we'll see some rain late in the day on Saturday, and that's certainly a possibility. If it does come in, it's going to be light, what we call stratiform rain. The heavy rain still, either way, will hold off. But notice, 6 o'clock. That's pretty good when the global models line up like this. And 6 a.m. Sunday, rain, again, the entire western half of the state. So pretty good bet that Sunday morning is where we're going to put our best probability of rain in the forecast. And again, the Euro has this out of here by Sunday night. All right, we're going to dive a little deeper into this now. So the question of severe weather. All right, I've seen a lot of people already talking about this. So I've plotted on here. This is a look at our upper level winds depicted here with these wind streams at about 4,000 or 5,000 feet. There's our surface winds, okay? So the direction, there's not a lot of directional shears, what we call it. So our wind direction is not changing a whole lot with height. The speed is, though, however. So we'll have some decent winds aloft. This is now at about, let's pause this at 5 o'clock. So what do we have here? At 5, kind of right where we talked about, there's the that wind, the area of wind, that low-level jet, that sometimes we call it a little jet streak, basically a wind maximum at 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So what that does is, wherever you have wind moving very fast, it's evacuating part of that column of air. Well, something has to rise to replace that. And so you typically have rising motion from the surface to the lower levels. So that's probably our best mechanism for getting any vertical motion. Now, as I move this forward, you're going to see some color contours coming into play here. So remember, by this point in the morning, the lead edge, that line, is already moved through West Alabama. In situations like this, it's very common for the convection, or the rain and thunderstorms along the lead edge of the front, to outrun the best instability. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Meaning we won't have an overlap where our wind shear is present and our instability is present. So you've got, your better instability or energy values. Well, that wasn't good. Back here to the west. And so your better wind shear is going to be here. They don't overlap, so you can have some stronger thunderstorms with one rather than the other, but not an ideal setup here. You'll notice on the other side of this, after the wind maximum aloft moves well off to the east, then we've got the instability. But by then, again, you've got a rain-cooled atmosphere, and overall the setup shouldn't be good. So again, thunderstorms, I'll say certainly possible. Not very optimistic on the severe threat at this time. Here's a look at the rain totals from the WPC. Understand this product is meant to look at kind of in a generalization. What's the average, rain total over a 7-day period? And all this tells me is that we have some pretty decent rain, about an inch and a half in several spots here from just this one system, as it is our only rain chance here moving forward. All right, let's look at our temperatures. Monday, 3 o'clock, mid-60s, much of central Alabama, maybe a few 70s to the south. By Tuesday morning, some 40s, 50s, but you're going to notice our morning lows are going to be warm as well. 3 o'clock on Tuesday. How about this? I think a lot of us will be in the 70s statewide, and it only gets warmer from there. 50s Wednesday morning, 70s Wednesday afternoon. All this coming with some sunshine as well. You saw on the upper air map, we're in a bit of a ridge. Thursday morning, back to the upper 40s. A little bit of cool air wedging coming in from the Appalachians. Could be in the mid-40s up near Scottsboro. Center, Fort Payne. And then Thursday afternoon, again, that wedge kind of mixes out pretty quickly, and 70s again for much of Alabama. We'll take it all the way through to Friday. 50s Friday morning, 70s Friday afternoon. If this trend continues, 80s would be in the cards for southern Alabama. Look at the CPC outlook. This goes February 19th to 25th. And the warmth not going anywhere. So February is a big transition month for us. Certainly looks like that will be the case here moving forward. That's a look at your forecast discussion. Looking ahead to the weekend. Hope you guys have a great Thursday. We'll see you next time.